Calling to order this evening's Borough of Conshohocken Sewer Authority meeting. Today is December 17th. Let us start with our Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Shannon, do you mind doing roll call for us?
Sure. So Christine Bertino.
Here.
Jack Ambler.
Here.
Aparna Chibber.
Here.
George Bass. Tina Sokolowski.
Here. Thank you. Okay, this evening we did not have an executive session.
But we do want to report on the executive session from the October meeting.
Okay, correct.
So do you?
So yeah, just to supplement the record, last month we just overlooked it. Immediately following the October meeting, there was an executive session held to discuss personnel and litigation. And that will be reflected in this month's minutes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So that's an October meeting amendment. Okay. Did we have any public comment that was sent in or any discussions for this evening?
No.
And we have no public to comment on today. Okay. Any invited guests today to have any discussions? No invited guests. Moving right along. All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from November 19th. Anyone have any questions related to the minutes? Hearing no questions, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the November 19th Sewer Authority meeting?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
These were really good, Shannon. The minutes were like,
Oh,
I feel like I really knew what was going on.
well, thanks.
All right, next item on the agenda is our reports for this evening. First on the list is our financial reports. Did anyone have any questions related to the accounts payable, the revenues, or anything in the financials that you'd like to discuss?
I did. But I thought I saw that we paid penalties. I wasn't sure what that was referring to. Was it penalties paid to us or we paid penalties? Yeah, it's on the budget report, page 104.
Budget report, page 104. All right, hold on. So, okay, so the penalties that's on here, up in the revenue section, that is penalties that we are getting
So
for when a bill is late.
customers had to pay
Yes.
us.
Yes,
Okay,
that's correct.
then I feel good.
Hey, awesome. Shannon, the clarifier valve that is on page 2 of the expense budget, I'm sure that's expensed out, but that's probably part of the project that we're getting reimbursed for. Is that correct?
Which, hold on,
Uh,
page 2 of the list of vouchers, is that what you're?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
The payment approval report, page 2.
And it was paid to?
CVL, technical sales.
So that's you, Ed, that's CVA.
Oh, actually, no, that was not. That was a secondary. That was a secondary clarifier.
Okay.
That was the other tank.
Okay.
That was not related to the
So it's a maintenance cost.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
I was gonna say, that shouldn't be on there if it is.
Yeah,
And then moving forward to page 4, under the MJ Ryder Associates, there is a stormwater mention in that list in the sewer side versus the stormwater side. Did you just miss that one, or?
No, that's actually something we've done all along. We actually have a long stretch of pipes to go under the whole sewer plant, and we're responsible for cleaning that and testing it once a year. So that's done something every year on the wastewater side.
Okay. Should it be a stormwater side as we move forward?
Could be. I don't know. Oh,
No.
Brent
It's
said
part of our NPDS permit.
no.
The Oz, the great and powerful Oz has spoken. So we have Brent Wagner, for those watching, we have Brent Wagner on the line, the executive director. Okay, so no, we want to keep it here?
That is correct.
Okay, and then the influent mag meter install for 23 grand?
That's something we should be reimbursed as part of the damage from the pipe break.
All right, they were all my questions in the expense side. Anyone else have any questions? All right, hearing no questions, we need a motion to approve the total expense budget at $188,841.28. And since it is spending money, we'll do a roll call vote, please.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion. And a second. And roll call.
Okay. And then we got Jack Ambler,
Here, yes?
Christine Bertino,
Yes.
Aparna Chiver,
Yes.
Tina Sokolovsky.
Yes. All right.
And we don't need to do the, we have to vote for the raise increase on that, or?
So I.
Do you want to do that in mine or in Brent's? Doesn't matter.
I was going to say, let's do it in either yours.
Doesn't
or
matter,
Brent's.
but I'm okay with it either way.
Okay.
But before we do that, I got the renewal for the workers' comp.
Yes, saw that.
It was 17,000 and some change. Last year, our original premium was 12,000 and some change, but with the adjustment, we ended up paying 17,706. So it's not a huge increase with the claim that we had.
Did we factor that into the budget that we put up for
Um,
approval before? Probably not.
I don't,
'Cause it came
I think
afterward.
we did as a 5% increase.
Okay, all right, so we just.
So it might be a little,
Okay,
So our premium is higher for next year because we spent more on workers' comp this year.
yeah.
Okay. Will they will readjust next year then?
Yeah, so there will be another adjustment at the end of the year, and it'll either be that we have to pay a little bit more, or
Or
we're good to go.
readjust,
Yeah. So I think we just need an approval to go with Colony again.
okay. So, in our packet, we had the presentation of the workers' comp renewal with Colony. So I am looking for a motion to accept Colony as the vendor for workman's comp at the cost of
Of
17,671
$17,671,
$671.
yep.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Any other questions or comments about the financials? Looks like we are on target to end strong in December. Okay. Next item on the agenda will be our solicitor.
Motion to approve the financial
Oh,
report.
yes. I always forget to motion to approve the financial report section of the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the solicitor's report.
We have no action items for you this evening.
Nice and easy. Thank you. Hearing no action items, do I have a motion to accept the solicitor's report of no actions?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the engineer's report.
Okay, I only have two updates for you guys. The first one is starting 2025, we will begin preparing the Chapter 94 report for 2024. We are expecting lower flows in that report just because of how dry it was. And then moving forward to compare, and all the connections, so we might have higher flows to the connections, but lower because of the drought. So moving forward to compare year to year, we're going to be looking at the flow per EDU, and basically that tells you your flow per customer, and the lower the number, obviously, the better for us. And then the second update is on the influent pump station and electrical upgrade at the plant. Keystone's looking for beginning of January to finish that design. Their lead engineer's still out on maternity leave, and we'll be back after the new year. So we'll report back in January on that update.
And we're still okay on timing with the grant?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
But for a Chapter 94 report, why does it matter for lower flows or higher flows? What's the drought, just?
Well, you have a permit, your plant is permitted for a certain amount of flow, and as we're getting more projects and more connections, we gotta make sure we're not gonna have a projected overload, either hydraulically or organically, so, that affects our 5-year projections, having the dry years and whatnot, so.
So it's a 5-year, so the last year was low, so they might mistaken that as that we reduce flow in some.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good on our plant, it looks like we have extremely low I&I and low storm flows, but the reality is we didn't have storms,
Yeah.
so.
Because we're permitted to a certain flow and organic loading,
Correct.
and I guess they evaluate that under
Every,
this.
every year, yep,
Okay,
that's what this report is, yep.
thank you.
And did you mention the electric design?
Yes, that will be completed in January.
Okay, perfect.
When would you start getting worried about timing for the grant on that, do you think? Is it,
I think we still have time. I think we're shooting for a spring bidding on that. So I think as long as we're, have a design in hand, by late winter, February, March, we should be in good shape.
okay.
Any other questions for the engineer? Hearing no other questions, do I have a motion to accept the engineer's report this evening?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I'm going to flip. Are you still good on time, Brent?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So let's.
Yeah, I'm good. I got 20 minutes,
Okay.
25 minutes left.
All right. So we can do the operations manager report then.
Well, it's good. I don't have a whole lot to report. This is the time of year when everything slows down for me a lot, so I'm doing a lot of closing projects out and reports out and preparing for stuff for next year. So it's nice when the office is a little bit emptier when everybody's using their time up, so it's good. So I don't really have anything major to report. I did want to say, just make a note, everybody sees the jars of honey in front of you. They're from Brent, from his personal bees. And the cards are from the authority, so just in case you're wondering what's going on there.
Thank you.
But other than that, if you have any questions on my report, the one thing I did want to notice, or I wanted you to notice, is the end of the collections report. I had them add how many segments of pipe we're televising and hydroflushing. That's going to be a new thing each month. So what I want to do is, as the next year opens up, I want to make it where you can pretty much go to one page and see anything you want to see in those two departments. So hopefully next year, as soon as we see the PA1 calls get subbed out, those numbers should all increase. And we're going to see more productivity, so it'll be easier for you to follow.
The two rain credit applications, what were they based on?
Barrels, the rain barrels, yeah. So basically, I just went out there, I inspected them, took pictures of them, and everything was good to go.
Great. Back to sludge for 1 second. I saw the sludge went up from November to December. Is that just the way that the bills were paid, or did we make more sludge? Did we not?
I think we made more sludge a little bit. I think we went, I just only had 2 last month, 2 dumpsters.
Yeah, November had a lot of
Yes.
dumpsters.
It's the way it seems to flow,
Okay.
there's no good reason for it, I can't think of it.
We may want to put a trend line on that graph.
On my graph?
Just to see if it continues to climb or if it's just certain months spike.
The trend, excuse me, there is a trend on there for the loads, but I don't think we have the cost on there.
Yeah, I have the loads and
Yeah, I can see the lines, but,
there's not a cost line.
right,
So I can add the cost line if that's.
that would be, just so we keep an eye on it in
Yep.
one quick glance. Any other questions for the operating manager's report?
Lines are just between manholes for you guys, and like, nothing about, what kind, do we have a relative consistent size for the borough, or is that, you know what I mean, like, 7 lines could be one super long one, you know, does it,
It depends, I mean,
or they're pretty,
they're, yeah,
Mostly
they're pretty
walk.
consistent, yes. I mean, usually your line's gonna be anywhere from 200 to maybe 350 feet tops.
yeah,
And then, that's pretty much what they want before you have to intersect or turn anywhere, so.
yeah.
And that makes it easier for maintenance and for flushing and for televising. But, yeah, we pretty much zigzag all over town.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, generally, numbers aligned would be representative of how much,
That's just manhole to manhole,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay, other questions? Jack in the details. George is here and he can't get in. We're gonna let George in. Hang tight, Brent.
Thanks for the honey, Brent.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, you'll have to bring in a photo, or have to see a photo of the beehive at some point.
I'll give you a couple of pictures when I get stung in the face, too.
He did
Hello,
the same-
Mr. Bass.
He did the same thing online, says 6:30.
Hello.
So he's-
Should have called
Oh,
somebody.
really? Online?
Should have called Tina on the wrong number.
All right, let the record show that Mr. Bass has attended. All right. George, did you have any questions on the
I read everything.
operation manager's report?
No, it was fine.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right, hearing no questions, do I have a motion to accept the operations manager report this evening?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the executive director's report. So I will hand it over to Brent, who is on the Zoom call.
Okay, a couple items. Number one, Ed and I are going to be working with PICO on starting to do analysis on how we can reduce our energy costs on our digesters. So we'll probably go through a 6 to 8 months window where they evaluate our energy costs, and then our game plan is to change our blowers to a variable frequency drive and lower our demand when we don't need all the electric usage for our amount of air that we need. So it'll probably be about a year process, and once we determine our kilowatts reduction, they actually give us a grant for our energy reduction, and the goal is for them to pay for the project for our energy reduction. So it's actually a positive thing, and we're going to be putting sensors on our digesters, and they evaluate that for a couple months, and then we go through that process for almost a year. That's one item.
And you
If you refer to
that? You need
What's that?
you would either need or get new pumps for that. You wouldn't be able to use the existing, or maybe even
Our game plan is to use the existing equipment, but instead of being full load, if we don't need all the oxygen, we'll actually reduce our blower demand by reducing the amount of through the variable frequency drive.
Great.
So, and the game plan is we have to prove that we can do this, and then once we approve it, then it goes through a PICO committee, and then they actually give us grants for the reduction of the footprint of our kilowatt usage.
Great.
So that's been lined up through their PICO's consultant, and our game plan is to start in January.
And also, all 3 of those blowers are less than 3 years old.
Okay.
They've all been replaced recently.
And number two, in regards to the sludge production, we'll add that additional for costs. The one thing I like to see on that graph is that we continue to reduce per month. If you do the trend, we're actually lower every month in sludge production. And then the next item I'm going to do is I'm going to be working with the University of Georgia to evaluate how we can optimize the digesters as well better. Plus, as you know, that Material Matters, will be our consultant for for trying to get Class A, Class B permitted for the future. That will be beginning in January as well. So there's a lot of movement. Everything's obviously through sludge production is to reduce our footprint of those costs. Other than that, I mean, I know as Ed said, it's a quick month, but there's nothing really major going on. The plant's running very well.
It's great to hear.
Just on those the Material Masters is the group you went for sludge. You looked at a couple organizations for that, right?
Two.
Okay, two.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. But we actually had a meeting with both firms, and only one gave us a proposal.
Okay.
And that's a part of our. We had that in the budget for them to proceed over the next, basically 12 to 24 months to get our game plan for the next 5 years.
Okay, so the outcome is they give you like a report and recommendations or something of like how to get there in 5 years, essentially.
That is correct. They'll give us a evaluation, plus we'll actually give our input, and based upon our suggestions, their suggestions, and come up with a real solution for the future.
Cool.
And Brent, recruiting's going well for the utility position?
Yes, we are currently in background check still, and we hopefully within the next 2 weeks we'll have information for the solicitors to review and proceed with the hire.
And we've got
That's all
one employee back from. Yes. Okay.
We have one employee back from our workman's comp accident, and the other one is still out on leave.
Okay. All right.
Good news.
Is the current offer the one that we've been working on, or is this someone new? Same person. So do we think that, are we making an offer pending background check? Yes. That's the plan.
Okay. Any other questions?
That completes my report, and then that's all I have.
Brett, we're going to take an executive session at the end to go consult with the solicitor on personnel matters.
Yep,
Okay.
and that's fine. Yep, I figured that's how we have done it in the past, correct?
Okay. Yep.
And I think if you do whatever you do like you did last year, just let me know. I think you gave me an email, and we go from there.
Okay. All right. That sounds
Okay?
good. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right. Hearing no other questions, comments, concerns, do I have a motion to accept the executive director's report?
Before you do that, do you want to do the 4%?
We're going to do it in exec session. Yep.
I'll make a motion to accept the executive director's report.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay. I don't see any old business. No new business. We're ending the year strong, going into the new year strong.
Can I bring up something for potentially 2025?
Sure.
I know that we talked about that we have a new billing system, and that the reason why we did away with the discount was because of the billing system, it created a lot of extra work. And now that we have the new billing system, is that something that can be discussed in 2025?
Sure, we can ask.
It was also that it wasn't fair to everybody. So we've got to come up with a different type of discount.
So would you put that on an agenda item for, and start researching if there's any other?
Types of discounts.
Mhm.
And do we have
out as an attachment.
Yes.
Yes. Ed
Email.
did send an email.
That you said it was in
But-
the.
He did send an email, and the first meeting in January is going to be at 6 o'clock.
I remember that. I just was curious, I don't remember when the primary is next year. I don't know if there's a conflict of putting the ballot on the same day as the primary. I don't think it does, but I'm not sure.
We can resend you the list.
Thank you. Actually, I should probably be a little bit earlier.
I can put them on the calendar, but I'll make sure the times are released.
Those of us with more memories, I had a text her. Anyway.
Okay.
I'd like to remind everybody about the holiday party on Friday too, in case anybody forgot. It starts at noon down at the plant. Come on down, we're gonna have tons of food. And, well, Dabby's down.
How long does it, what time does it go till? Just
It's
roughly.
usually like an hour.
Yeah, an hour or
It's
two,
not
yeah.
nothing-
Sounds good.
Catered by the boathouse this year.
Nice.
Some wings.
Are you doing a gift, staff gift, Christmas gift this year?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Everybody's gonna get a big assortment of meats and stuff from Omaha Steaks.
Sweet.
So I'm gonna go Thursday and pick all that stuff up. And I'm gonna give it to them Thursday and let them take it home, so. They'll fill our freezer up down there.
Great.
It's nice. All right. Anything else? All right. Then I will close this part of the meeting, and I'll ask us to walk into the back for an executive session,
Do we need a
Do you want to
motion?
come back and adjourn?
and then we'll come back and adjourn.
Okay.
Can we do it the other way?
You want to do it the other way?
You want to do it?
Okay.
Adjourn to and go into executive
So-
session.
On in January.
If we adjourn into executive session, I know Brent had mentioned putting the stuff in the next payroll. Can we do that without it being approved?
She's got to do paperwork and stuff, right?
We get approval based on a personnel exec session, draft agreements, and they're typically retroactive to a particular date. So I don't.
Yeah, but he wanted not the merit part, he wanted the other.
COLA.
piece.
COLA,
Yeah,
cost of living,
not the,
the 4%.
yeah, the other piece.
Oh, gotcha.
He wanted that in before the end of the year, if he could have it.
And it makes any difference whether we come back into the public meeting to announce the exec session tonight or January.
We still have an approval. Okay.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that's good.
He had mentioned it, not.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Good time for it too, though. End of year.
Yeah.
All right, so let's call the meeting. So can I have a motion to end this evening's meeting?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to end this evening's meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.